Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, I'm sitting in my car, and I just did a night run to the store here, but they are closed. So I missed them by a couple minutes, and a normal human being would just drive home at this point, but I'm not normal. I've been thinking about knife stuff on the way here, and I decided to take this opportunity in the parking lot here to talk about knife steels and their cost, okay? This is a topic that I've been meaning to do a video on for a long time anyway, and I figured, you know what, it's on my mind, let's talk about it, let's do a video. Over the years, I've gotten thousands of comments on different knife reviews that were regarding a knife, more specifically the knife steel choice for the price of that knife. And how the comments usually go is, oh, that's overpriced for that blade steel, or if for that amount of money you should get this steel, or it should be a better blade, that kind of comment. And a lot of people are in the same frame of mind when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I get it. If you're paying a lot of money for a knife, it should have better performance. That's what you're actually trying to get out of a higher end knife, right? The $100 knife should probably stay sharper longer and work better than the $10 knife, right? And the same train of thought, you'd say, okay, well, the $500 knife should probably last longer and stay sharper than the $100 knife, right? Well, it doesn't always work out that way. There's a wide range of different types of steels used by different types of companies, both in production as well as custom knives. And although, generally speaking, the higher price a knife costs, the better materials you're getting, the better performance you're getting, the better fit and finish. I mean, that's what you're paying for. The guy going out buying a $20 knife, it's a cool new knife, and most times it works, it's fine, but it doesn't stay as sharp as long as some of the higher, more expensive knives because of those different blade steels, right? But sometimes you get a really expensive knife with a very common, cheap blade steel, and vice versa. Sometimes you get some really good deals that everyone talks about. Okay, this knife is only $50, but you're getting D2 for $50, or you're getting S30V for $50, or whatever the case may be. But my point here is that I think everyone, including myself, we have an expectation of, if you're paying a lot more for a knife, it's an expensive knife, you want that performance. You want a certain level of performance from your knife. More specifically, the blade. That's what you're using a knife for, to cut things, right? So I want this to cut better and longer than the cheaper knives than this, right? But like I said, it doesn't always work out that way. There's a lot of factors there, a lot of reasons why it may perform better or worse. But for this video and this topic, I want your feedback. I'm curious to see what people's expectations are for certain price brackets. So I'll make it simple. I want you guys to tell me what blade steels you expect to have if a knife costs more than $100. Now, that being said, if you say, okay, well, if it's more than $100, it has to have this, because everyone has a preference of what type of steel they want, right? But at the same token, if you want certain steels at $100, what do you want at the $500 level if you were buying $500 knives, okay? Because at some point, you can only top out the best steel ever is going to be in the $200 knife, the $500 knife, the $1,000 knife, you know what I mean? So at some point, you can't get better, you know what I mean? Now, I'm strictly talking about performance. Now, when you get into like Damascus and all these other things, that's not really extra performance. That's more of an art piece, collectible type stuff. That's a whole different realm. Now you're just paying for the time it took to create that steel. But what's interesting, a lot of people don't know or understand, is that the difference between buying, let's say, a big sheet of 440C as opposed to D2 or S30V, the physical price of those steels aren't all that different. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like a sheet of 440 costs $100 and a sheet of S30V costs $2,000. It's not, such a gap, at least not what you may think it would be. So sometimes the price of these knives, because of the certain steels, it's not always justified by the steel cost. It's justified in other ways, like the fit and finish, like the amount of steps it takes to actually process that knife. Some people don't think about all the things that go into making a knife. It's not just the materials. It's not, okay, well, this has carbon fiber, so it's extra expensive because of the carbon fiber cost, or this one has S90V, it's rare, and it's not always that. Other considerations are, okay, well, this machine needs to be maintained every month, and the parts, the drill bits for this machine cost this amount of money. All those cost factors go into the end price for that knife. The labor for the people making it, the machines, all that stuff, that all gets factored in to what they charge for certain knives, right? Time is money. You know, certain knives are on an assembly line or, you know, in production for a certain amount of time. That all costs money. All that's factored into the end product. You see a knife that they're you know, company's charging $100 for, doesn't mean it costs them $100 to make it. Clearly, people have to get paid all along the way. The company has to make money. That knife that costs $100 to you may cost the company $20 on the grand scheme of things, you know, but everyone's in it to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's the end goal here, is to be a successful company, and that means making a profit. How much profit? Well, that differs from company to company. If you're making 100 knives, you need a bigger profit margin than if you're making 50,000 knives, right? So all these different factors come into play. It's not so black and white as, okay, well, this is the price for this steel, therefore, this price for this knife should have this steel. But I'm still really curious to see what your guys' personal expectations are. So anyway, I'm just really curious to hear your feedback on blade steels. The first thing is I want to know what you expect for a blade steel choice for a knife that's $100+. That's number one. And also I want to hear what steels you guys don't like. And that's usually from personal experience. People don't just randomly say, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. I know so many people out there that they bought a knife with a certain type of blade steel and it was too hard to sharpen. So they'd stay away from that steel. Other people, maybe it be a rust, you know, problem or a corrosion problem. So they, you know, live on the coast. They got a lot of sea water in the air and stuff, a lot of humidity. So there's certain steels that just rust too easily. They stay away from them. Some people, they need their knife for a certain job or profession, and they just get dull too fast, so they stay away from those blade steels. Everyone has a reason why they like certain things and don't like certain things. And I just love to hear your personal experiences. You know, tell me a steel you hate. But why? Don't just say, oh, I hate D2. Tell me why you hate D2. And then again, I want to hear what you expect in a $100+ knife. For me, there's no steel that I hate. Even the cheapest, crappiest, non-heat treated tinfoil blade, I'm good with, because usually, not always, but usually, it's priced for that quality level. Do you know what I'm saying? A $10 knife is not going to blow me away with its performance. And on the other end of the spectrum, you know, the $500+ knife may have the same steel that you can get in an $80 or $90 knife. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is a little bit, you know, it's a little random sometimes. Sometimes you see a knife and you look at the price tag, okay, that's great. And then you see the blade choice for that blade, and you're like, you're scratching your head. Why? Why didn't they go with this? Why didn't they go with that? There's always a reason behind it. You know, it could just be that company prefers that steel. It could just be that company has a great source for that steel. You know what I mean? But I don't know, I'm just curious. I'm curious to hear your opinions on blade steel choices. And there's some people out there that don't care. You know, as long, hey, is it sharp? Okay, it's sharp. And when it's dull, I'll sharpen it and I'm good to go. But some people get very, very specific about certain things, and they just have such a strong opinion. So I'd love to hear your opinions. That's pretty much it. Let's talk about blade steels in the comments. What do you hate? And what do you expect for that $100+ knife? You know, so many people they actually get upset when they see a knife that costs $240 with 440C. Pull fours, right? That's kind of what this video was, you know, why I kind of made this. All the comments on that, like, oh my God, 440C, it's $240. It's ridiculous. That's crazy. It's insane. Guys, there's $1,500 customs with 440C, and people are buying them. So that's it, guys. Just wanted to touch upon this subject a little bit. I'd love to hear your preferences on blade steels, your experiences with blade steels, what you love, what you hate, and what you expect at certain, you know, price points. Because a lot of people do have very specific expectations and certain steels that they just will not buy. So I'm curious as to why. So let me know down in the comments. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate your time. And now I'm going to go home. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.